Welcome everybody! As announced in the last channel update video, here we are with our first Overkills The Walking Dead video. Since people asked me, Mike, what do you think about the game? The reviews are quite horrendous. I decided to do a review and feedback video about it. This will need a bit of explanation of how the game works, otherwise the review might become confusing. So we will always have an explanation part, followed by the review/feedback part. I tried to keep this as spoiler free as possible. I will show you a few gameplay clips, comment them, and then we'll discuss a few Steam review comments. Steam review comments. We will talk about the following topics. What is Overkills The Walking Dead? Characters, map and camp, gameplay, teamplay, bugs, price, some final words, and the final verdict. Let's get started. What is Overkills The Walking Dead? Overkills The Walking Dead is a 4-player co-op action FPS where you fight the dead as well as the living. Set in the Walking Dead universe, you and your group try to survive in a post-apocalyptic Washington DC. That's what the Steam store page is telling you. And it is true, you're playing with up to 3 friends or randoms a co-op action FPS game in a zombie apocalypse. You try to survive in this hostile environment by scavenging for supplies, getting crucial equipment, defending your group of survivors against hostile forces and many other tasks. And you do that by completing different kinds of mission types. Defense missions, protecting your home base Georgetown camp, where you have to fight off hordes of walkers or hostile human factions, called the Family or later on the Brigade. They try to raid your base. There might be more factions fighting for survival and dominance in this world, but those are the ones that we encountered so far. You will unlock short missions that are available for a limited amount of time. Those are rather basic and don't progress your story. You do these to get items and loot. Defending your base, assassinating an enemy target, gathering supplies, everyday business in the apocalypse. From time to time, even weekly missions appear on your map with very high difficulty, but very high quality loot. And then you have your story missions. You can play them on 4 difficulty levels: normal, hard, very hard and overkill. Be aware that the game is not adjusting the amount of walkers or human AI in the game. If you're solo, you will face the same amount of enemies. There might be even more mission varieties. I didn't complete the game yet, but I think you get the idea. So far so good. Now to the review part. We have several types of missions to spice things up. We can adjust the difficulty settings, have some bonus missions. Looks pretty nice, I like it. However, the devs decided to make 2 out of the first 3 missions base defending missions. And to be completely honest with you, the first base defending missions are dull. They are not a challenge and quite boring. It feels a bit like a wave defender game, which is kinda sad since the story missions are pretty nice and immersive. I don't understand why you decide to show new players the probably most boring missions, defending against walkers and defending against human AI, in the first hour of your game. There are even a few Steam reviews that call this game a wave defender simulator. This is of course over-exaggerated. Out of the 20 hours that I played this game now, the base defending missions took maybe 1 hour at max of my time. And later on, they get way tougher and challenging, not boring anymore. So don't judge the game just because the first missions are defending your base from enemy waves, because that is only a fraction of the game. Let's jump to the next topic. Characters, map and camp. Overkills The Walking Dead is not just playing your missions and that's it. In the map, you level your characters, farm resources, customize your gear, and even level your base and survivors. Character skills. You have a sweet leveling system for each character. You gain skill points by playing the missions and earning experience. You use these skill points to train your trademark abilities and you can level your core abilities. So playing each character feels a little bit different. Aiden, for example, has his flashbang, toughen up and is a specialist with shotguns. Whereas Heather uses a smoke grenade, trust your instincts, which is a skill to detect loot, and can upgrade crossbow perks. The unique abilities are bound to the characters. At first, if you max them, you unlock them for every character. But every character can wield every weapon. So I could play Aiden with a crossbow, although Heather, with all the crossbow perks, will have the edge over him. Survivors. Between missions you can assign survivors from your camp to complete missions to get some small rewards. They level up while doing the quests and get stronger for higher level missions. or you assign them to workstations to give you additional bonuses. It's not much, but another little feature to play around with. Then you have your camp. It can be upgraded with the resources you gather from your missions. You can see an overview of your resources in the top right. If something is red, it means that you don't have enough resources to pay your upkeep costs, which you need to provide every 3 days, displayed by the hourglass. Not being able to pay the upkeep means your camp morale will decrease, which has a negative effect on the camp. You want high morale to get some extra bonuses. Every time you complete a mission successfully, 1 day goes by. Let's have a look at camp upgrades. For example, upgrading the hub unlocks new routes, which is essential to unlock the new missions. Every section of your base will give you additional abilities and advantages. The depot will give you the mechanics kit, the clinic the camp kit, and so on. I will not go into too much detail here. Upgrade carefully, since you need to upgrade the right sections to get access to the higher tiers of your character's skill tree. I really like what they did here. You can plan your group setup to maximize its effectiveness by picking good combinations and taking various tools with you. The tools, such as the wire cutter or the lockpick for example, give you access to certain paths or let you open locked loot boxes. If your group of 4 has 4 people with lockpicks, you might miss out on some sweet rewards or shortcuts. At first I was a bit scared that I would not be able to play Aiden with a sniper rifle or a crossbow, because you can't train these weapons, but honestly, you can still use them. The perks regarding the weapons are okay and that's it. A bit more ammo, a bit faster reloading, only the very high level perks make a difference. All the other perks are more for comfort in my opinion. Furthermore, the party slots are not limited for characters. You can play with 4 headers if you feel like it, but you don't want to do that. Every survivor has the right to be picked. The flash bomb is good against human AI, the molotov is excellent for burning hordes of walkers, header makes sure you're not missing weapon cases, and Maya has a nice med station. There is not a single ability that is useless. The game gets from my side definitely a thumbs up for the characters, map and camp section. And you have the vault, where you can see all weapons you gathered so far. Mike, can other characters use them? Well, yes and no. Other characters can use them, but you need to unlock the level for it first. So I can't pick Aiden, my highest level character, do some very difficult missions and equip a fresh level 1 survivor and plow through the map. That's not how it works. Personally, I think this is fine. You can save weapons for your other survivors and just need to level them up a bit. The leveling is not a big deal, getting the good weapons is way harder in my opinion, because that is based on luck. The last thing you can do in the map screen is lost and found. You can find lore items on the map, the information gets stored here. Next up, gameplay. It's cute. Weird way to describe the gameplay of a zombie apocalypse. There are a few details that are nice. You mostly wield your melee weapons because this game has a noise meter. You will trigger hordes every time you fill a circle, and if you hit 3 circles there will be an infinite wave of walkers. Infinite. Have fun with that. Suppressed weapons work as well, but they have a durability on their suppressor and they will break, so you can't shoot every walker you see. The crossbow is an exception. Taking out human AI silently is even more crucial, since their gunshots will fill the noise meter as well. Also, there are sound traps placed on the map. Those combined with car alarms fill your noise meter pretty quickly. Walkers can grab you and then you have 2 options. Stab them, takes a bit but you will receive less damage, or shove them back. A quicker action, but you lose more health. You have to think fast here, because if just a second walker shows you some love, they will pin you to the ground and you have to rely on your teammates to save you. Help me with that!
No, don't kill him.
Yeah, it's not like... Can you please kill him? Don't kill him. Yeah, it's like...
No, you have to run.
You know, I can't run. Joe?
Yeah, what do you want from me?
Yeah, this is just great. This mechanic works the same way on every difficulty level as it seems, So even on normal, if you get overconfident or sloppy, your journey can end pretty quickly. If you sneak up on enemies, you can quickly get rid of them with takedowns. Zero noise, no ammo wasted, pretty nice. On a higher difficulty level, it's basically a necessity to coordinate simultaneous takedowns to not rapidly fill your noise meter. Scavenging is a big topic in the game. Therefore, you can find resources on the map which you need to craft your special ability, your secondary ability and your tool. You can find them everywhere on the map. Now I saw one guy making a review about the game and he was, let's say, displeased because he got annoyed by how many walkers he had to kill in a zombie apocalypse game. Well, I checked this video and he played every mission solo. So he had to kill 4 times the amount of walkers you usually have to take care of. And I personally love smashing walker heads, slicing them into pieces, hack them a third eye socket and... well, I think you should try it out yourself. There are 3 types of walkers. The normal ones, with legs or being creepy crawlies. The boomers, bloaters. And the military walkers. The military walkers, you need to get rid of the helmet first to get the crucial charged head slap in. The variety is kinda meh. I played now for almost 20 hours and it doesn't seem as if there would come more walker types in the upcoming missions. But who knows? I would love to see more. 3 is really not that much. The human enemies... well, this is kinda difficult. At first, I hated the comment against them. I was annoyed that clean headshots are not an easy kill. That's because this game works with power levels. If your power level is not high enough, you're not one-shotting your enemies with headshots. As soon as I adapted my mindset to that, I enjoyed fighting them. If you played The Division from Ubisoft, it's kinda like that. Furthermore, the AI is... well, it's not super stupid, but it's not smart either. They become dangerous when your power level is too low, and they just straight up rush you and laser beam you. And they move a bit too fast. So there is definitely room for improvement. For example, if 2 AIs are talking with each other and you perform a takedown on one, the other one is not surprised that he doesn't get an answer to his "how was lunch?" question. I recommend to play this game with friends, it's a real game changer. I saw so many review videos of people playing the game solo. You're not experiencing the game right if you play it solo. I'm not saying you can't play it solo, I do it sometimes because I like the challenge. But don't complain about an excessive amount of walkers if you're handicapping yourself. Communicating in the game with randoms is weird. You can only type. There is no voice chat. Getting chased by an infinite horde and you have to coordinate your escape? Hell yeah! Please stop running and start typing. No big deal. This is a real no-go to not have some basic voice over IP in the game. I mean, you could use the Steam voice over IP, but the quality of that one is not too great and it's just an unnecessary workaround. Give us basic voice over IP settings. Push to talk, muting certain party members if they're toxic. It's weird for me to not have a voice over IP with basic settings in such a game. Also, there are some little loading lags when you finished an event and enter a new area. This can backfire, because your character keeps on running into maybe a horde or trigger audio traps. Although I like the different difficulty options a lot, I think they could go a bit more, I would say casual for normal. The missions are sometimes quite long, especially if you don't know what you're doing. 30 to 40 minutes is not uncommon for a story mission for new players. And if your group dies, it's over. If you die at the final event, it's over. There are no checkpoints, which is completely fine for the higher difficulty missions. But normal? You still get experience even if you don't complete the missions, so that's something. But that is a bit overkill for the normal difficulty. Anyone? No? Okay. Same goes with getting downed by walkers. You instantly lose all your health. So one little carelessness and all your saved health is gone. And you don't heal up very easily in this game. I would love to see your health deplete over time and not just boom, your health is gone. I saw a few people complaining about the events that you have to complete to progress in the missions, like for example starting the engine for this forklift. Why do we need 4 fuel canisters just to start the engine? I think this is just riding the hate train against this game? Yes, I agree, it makes no sense. You know what else makes no sense? Sniper shots that don't kill with a headshot. Zombies. I agree that it kinda affects the immersion, but this is ranting on a nitpicking level. One guy even gave a negative review and just mentioned this. I mean, come on, it's a game. Maybe I'm too soft on that one, but hey, everybody can have his own opinion, right? Especially on the internet. Okay, maybe not. Regarding the events during the mission, they are not always the same. There's a little bit of variance, but not a lot. They are really easy and only become a challenge when you are in infinite horde mode. Overall, I enjoy the gameplay. You can go guns blazing and make it more difficult, or try to go for a super quiet approach. It's really up to you which playstyle you prefer. And traps. I love those. There are shotgun traps, tripwire traps, bear traps, just to name a few. Some of them are even instant death if you trigger them, so you do have to pay attention to them. Something that I didn't mention yet is the weapon customization. Weapons can drop with mod slots. Depending what you prefer, you can give your guns more power or make them more stealthy. Quite nice. But that's it for the gameplay part. Let's go over to our next topic, Teamplay. Teamplay seems to not play a huge role on the lower difficulties, but if you're lacking the recommended power level, you need to coordinate your attacks. Also, it feels super rewarding to take out multiple enemies with a nicely timed ambush. With Aiden, I normally play with a shotgun and a pistol, so I mark snipers for my teammate to take them down with their long range weapons, while I keep the close range enemies at bay. However, I would love to see more. Teamplay is important, but I would love to see more interaction. I'm at full health. I have 3 bandages. Why can I not heal my teammates? I have tons of resources. My teammate needs 1 piece of cloth. I can't drop it for him? We finish the mission and I get a nice sniper rifle as a reward. I don't want to play sniper rifles. I can't trade it with my sniper teammate? I do understand that you can't just trade in lobbies or on a map. But sharing rewards at the end of a mission? That would be nice. It gets quite frustrating for my friends if they get their 4th suppressor, but no sniper rifle, while I salvage my 3rd one. The lack of these things is nothing game-breaking, but there are some really easy adjustments which would give the team play so much more value. What I really love about this game is that people can join games which are already in progress. One of your friends will be ready in 10 minutes, your party can already start the map and they just join a bit later. This is awesome. There's no, oh sorry, the 2 of us just started a game, we will be ready in 20 minutes. It's more like, yeah, join us. Alright, let's get to the next topic, which will be a bit painful. Bugs. Sadly, I have to admit that we encountered some bugs. Sometimes there were just some objects not rendering correctly or clipping a little bit. I don't care about those too much. However, there are even some game-breaking ones. Do not stand at a ladder spot while your teammate is placing said ladder. This can trap you. I got ported after a while, so there seems to be some kind of getting stuck detection, but it's really annoying. Some people did get stuck and had to leave the game. Yes, they can rejoin you, but it is kinda annoying, and if you play with randoms, it's tough and only works well with friends. Or an NPC gets stuck. The one you have to escort to an extraction point? You know? The important one? The main mission objective? The one without you can't finish the mission you played for 40 minutes? Not even walkers or bloaters were able to help us here. God, the sound was crystal clear that evening. Once you know these things and you play a bit more carefully, they are no big deal anymore. Just stay away from ladder spots or walk in a way that keeps the NPC as far away from objects as possible. But there's one issue here, and that will be our next point. The price. 50 euros. This... Well, sorry, I can't defend this. It's too high. Cut it down to 35 to 40. I will probably get some hate for this in the comment section, because the majority sees 30 or even less as justified. Let's just agree that 50 is too much. The little freezes when you enter a new zone or the bugs I mentioned should not exist in that price range. Final words. Now, would I recommend the game? If you don't have to worry about 10 to 20 euros, Overkills The Walking Dead is a great game. I really enjoy the game, especially with friends. It's not perfect, but it will receive a positive review from my side. If I look at the latest patch notes, they are working already on some crashes. So I think they have their priorities right. I just hope they will listen to the feedback and fix the remaining issues the community addresses. And they do this quickly. Maybe wait for a sale. I see myself spending way more hours in this game, which puts the price in a different perspective. You saw now a rather detailed explanation and review of the game. I hope this will provide a solid basis for your decision making. At the end, every one of us has to decide for themselves. A few words regarding the negative Steam reviews. Some of them are because of the price. I can understand that. Some of them are because of the bugs and crashes, which I understand as well, but that can be fixed. I, for example, didn't have a single crash. And then there are a few really weird reviews. Wave Defender game. You can't play it solo. Which is actually wrong. It's even quite fun because of the challenge. And there are even reviews where people complain it has nothing to do with the TV show. Wow. Although I do have the opinion that the name they picked pre-programmed Salty Frontiers, I wasn't expecting that many people being annoyed by it. Missions take too long. Not a single mission needs an hour and a half. Joe and I finished mission in our power level range and it took us 30 to 40 minutes and there were only the two of us. They are long, yes, but not that long. People complain that weapons can break. Well, I personally think it's cool that you need to repair weapons. If you don't, they can even jam. And don't forget, this is now targeted at my main audience from Hunt Showdown. Hunt was mixed at the beginning as well. And look where we are now. Final verdict. Let's compare the pros, cons and neutral aspects of the game. Caution, this is my personal rating. Pro, atmosphere. I want hordes of walkers. I got them. Intense missions. Sometimes you win by the skin of your teeth. Class system. Complexity with characters, map and camp. Playstyle. How you want to play is up to you. Rambo or stealth. Insta join for teammates. Infinite horde mode. It's quite challenging. It looks pretty. The noise mechanic is really interesting. Maps change a bit, so playing them again doesn't feel like copy-paste. Group roles offer interesting combinations. I have fun playing it with friends and blaming them for not picking me up. Neutral. Teamplay. Could be better, to be honest. Content might be a bit thin. I'm at 33 hours now and still have stuff to do. Question is for how long, since the story feels to end soon. But then there is still very high and overkill difficulty. Bullet sponge combat versus humans is not for everybody. Story is okay, but nothing special, although there are a few pretty heavy plot twists. Variety of enemies is a bit low. Loading into the camp itself feels kinda unnecessary. Con. Price. Way too high. Game-breaking bugs. Human AI. Long loading times. First contact with the game. The first hour is not representing the game properly. Like, not at all. You need to play a lot to see the interesting aspects of the game. No communication. Base defense missions are dull at the beginning and meh afterwards. Terrain movement feels not always great. There are invisible walls holding you off from reaching certain points. Keep in mind that the number of pros, cons is not the decisive factor. Everyone has to evaluate for themselves how much weight they put into the single arguments. And the list is far from being complete. I personally liked the game and gave it a positive review. Last two sentences. Reviews are always a display of someone's opinion. If you think you can live with the flaws, Overkills The Walking Dead can be a great game. In my opinion. That's it. Have a nice day.
Bye, dude.
And bye bye.
Why did he run outside?
I don't know.
You know, this could be based on the TV show. Somebody dying just every episode. Oh god, that was stressful.
Man.
All hope was lost.
All hope was lost.